The Slack instant messenger assistant, known as Slackbot, is extraordinarily helpful for giving yourself or your team reminders. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. This is my code editor. I like to write them in here instead of writing directly in Slack so I don't accidentally hit enter. You could use Google Docs or whatever. I just want you to look at this one thing, /remind. Now, if I switch to Slack, if I hit /, this is like the shortcut to bring up every single thing that you can just do without having to use the mouse, which is so handy. You could leave a channel with /leave as an example. But I want to do a reminder. So I could just type /remind, and you see it already is giving me a clue how to do that. You could remind at someone or #channel what and when, but I'm going to hit escape here. You could also do it with this plus. I could click the plus and there's create a reminder. If I just type remind, it'll come up. It's interesting. This is the second take on this recording, and create a reminder was in there for me the first time. Anyway, I like to do it with typing, and I'll show you why. It's basically so I could just reuse these things. But anyway, so I have a weekly team reminder. So I remind at here. At here will give a notification to everybody in the channel. I think it's slightly different than at channel. Like if you're offline, it won't send you a notification. You can look that up. And then within the quotes is the thing that is going to be reminded. So I'm just going to highlight that here. So this is the text that will be shown to my team. I used Shift and Enter to create a line break here, and then I injected some emojis. But it's reminder, happy Friday, team. Number 1, how was your week? Number 2, what are you doing next week? Number 3, what are your obstacles? And then the team actually replies in a thread, and we can all see what we were doing this week and what's up for next week. After the quote, we have, just in plain English, remind this team every Friday at 11 a.m. 11 a.m. is a magical time for my team. It's almost noon for me, and it's end of day for everybody else. So this is basically the recipe. Remind who? It could be yourself, it could be at someone, it could be a channel. What do you want to remind them, and when do you want to remind them? You can find more about this or anything on Slack. It's so well documented. Set a reminder is what it's called. Lots of great tips in here. And just use plain English, like remind in 10 minutes or every Tuesday. Yeah, it's really excellent. Now, the next step, after you've written it, what I always do is I test it on myself or in the Slackbot channel. So I'm just going to paste that there. But instead, I would say like in 1 minute. And then I would like switch away, and then in 1 minute, I'll see exactly how that's going to be formatted. That's what I like to do. Now, I have this set to go every single week, but I also like to ask my teams things at the end of every month and at the end of every quarter. The end of every quarter, I also give a reminder of the organization's vision and mission as well. But the reason I don't schedule those to be like, every month on the 28th or what have you to make sure it works on February is I want it on a Friday. And I also want to customize the third question. So in a month, I'm asking things like, what's the highlight? What's the low light? Are you on track with your goals? Something like this, something like big picture reminder. It's time to reflect. But I also like to ask a team building question. Like I asked, if a solar flare destroyed all electronics, what would you do as your new career? I'm asking this to a group of technologists. We get to know each other a bit. So to have that level of customization, I do like to do the questions or build those reminders manually once a month. I think it's well worth that little bit of time. So that's how I use Slackbot reminders, and I hope it serves you well. If you have any other tips, please let me know.